So here I am again, back on my exercise bike. Nearly didn't go on it today. Mike bought me in a coffee just as I was setting up. And I said, oh, I can't go on the live now on my exercise bike. And he said, no. And then literally 5 minutes ago, I thought, right, bring that down. I do want to do it. So sometimes you just have to make yourself do something. And you're always pleased with yourself afterwards. I always remember that with doing the taxis. I couldn't abide doing them. I've always been pretty much self-employed. Always doing my taxis, always putting it off. I did put it off to the last minute, not like that, but just didn't want to do it. And when I did it, I was always so pleased with myself for doing it. I was like, yay, yay. I've put a link to volunteering here in Cyprus, which I'm going to be talking about a little bit today. But the link's at the top of this. If any of you want it and you don't catch it on the live, if you're interested in information, or indeed you know somebody else, then I can always give you the link. So if you know someone that wants to come and volunteer on our, I say homestead, I only call it that because that's what a lot of people understand as our property being. We don't have animals. I just grow vegetables. We've got fruit trees and olive trees and live in a rural abandoned area in Cyprus. And I exchange working 3 hours a day, helping on the land in any respect for free accommodation. So if you know someone who wants to come to Cyprus for free accommodation, we don't provide food, then I'm your person. So let's talk about that first, since I'm talking about it already. We've just had yet another volunteer here, and I've just written the review on the Workaway site, which I link. You can read all about here. It's a company in America, and they kind of bring everyone together, whether you want to be a volunteer or whether you're a host. If you're a host, you don't pay anything. So if you guys have got a homestead, it doesn't even have to be that. My sister in England has a normal job, has a normal house, and because of my success of being a host and telling her what happens, she joined as a host. And she just wanted someone one time to I think fix her kitchen, as in put in units and things for her, and they did that. Another time it was just to clear. She's only got a small garden. Well, I say small, it's not tiny, but it's not land, and she wanted some, I think, brambles and things taken out, and they did that. You can ask for them to come for 1 day, a week, 2 weeks, a month, a year, whatever you want. And basically you put up what you want and they can come. If you're a volunteer, you do pay a small amount to join, because obviously they do checks and things like that. And you are asked to write a review when the time's finished, whether you're a host or the volunteer. Both write a review, and then neither are put up until both have written and submitted them. So you get true outcome, if you like, of the experience from both ends. The volunteer we just had, I'm putting videos up about her, and obviously that helps. If you volunteer here and you want to do it in the future, then that helps. That it's one thing saying what was done, but quite another to see a person doing the extent of the help. So I post those, and I've just done her review. And while I was on the site, it popped up a message like from the Workaway site that I hadn't seen, because I hadn't been on there since this volunteer came and was booked in for coming. And it basically said there was a competition from the Workaway site. And the competition was to make a video no longer than 1 minute. So I guess we're talking shorts, but I'll tell you why I couldn't do it as a short. The competition ends tomorrow. Last day to submit. I thought, oh, I love doing things like that. And you'll see I've posted my entry. Not very likely I'm going to get it, because literally doing it in, what did it take me? 15 minutes. And I couldn't go and film. This is why I couldn't do it on the short. I couldn't go and film bits. And I do shorts on my phone. I don't keep any footage or photos on my phone. So I couldn't grab stuff and put together. So on my computer. So if you want to see what my entry was, what I grabbed together for 15 minutes, trying to give an aspect of the location here, as in I live in an abandoned rural village off-grid. It's hard to get everything in 1 minute. I didn't want to do any voiceover. I wanted visual. I showed a little bit of some of the properties of our abandoned village. I showed a little bit of a volunteer where we took them to Colossi Castle, which you'll see the whole video coming up soon. I showed a little bit of same volunteer doing some planting trees, which you would have just seen. A little bit of goats, sheep crossing our driveway. What else did I manage to get in? Oh, our olive trees. Got a picture of the olive. I did just sort of a quick bit of film like that I had going across the olive trees to give some concept of what was here. I typed in, we do lots of fruit and vegetables here. Did a picture of the olive oil. Now I'm saying it all, it sounds really good for keeping it under a minute. A sunset at the end, that's very important. We get amazing sunsets most of the year and all different colours. And a title page that I've made very recently on Canva, because I do actually want to do a whole video on what I call unique volunteer experience in rural Cyprus. So that was handy, I've done that. So I literally got all those bits. It said about don't use any copyright music. Now, I don't pay for music. I do use different places that say the music's free, but I used it from a company I use quite a lot. It's all free, my music, to use as long as you credit them. So I hope that was okay. But I do know, personally, I've talked with this company and they do say you can use, they give their permission to use the music. I've got that in writing. So I thought that would be okay to use. So I used that. Yeah, I think that was actually quite a lot. Do go on the video. I've just posted it. You'll see the thumbnail is unique volunteer experience in Cyprus. So you'll know it's the right one. And as I say, it had to be under a minute. And you had to hashtag it, workaway video competition or something. I won't get anything. That wasn't enough time for me to do something really good. And as I say, I'm pretty sure most people can do a really good short and add things and whatever. Because my phone, I might film on it if I go out for a walk. That's normally now how my walks are filmed for you. And then I just take it all off there and put it on my computer. So I had nothing to work with to be able to make a short. And obviously I can't make a short instantly putting on things like that. So do have a look at it and give me your opinion, as in, would that encourage you, if you was interested in volunteering, to come here? Or what would your questions be? Anything. I just want your comments. So you can be like the judges of that video. Bear in mind, it's for a competition for the Workaway volunteer site. So yeah, add your comments, let me know. And there's 3 prizes, I believe. That's the only reason I kind of had to go. If you don't try something, you can never win something. As I say, I'm sure people have spent however long this competition has been opened to making some fabulous, effective. If someone's got a good editing suite, you can make something really fab. And I wonder if you can actually see other people's entries after the competition, because that would be interesting. Oh, and I did a bit of the volunteer, did I say, planting the fruit trees, because then that shows volunteer in action, and a bit of the castle we took her to. So you kind of got a bit of everything, a bit about our place, a bit about what the area looks like, showing our garden, the olive oil, bit of everything. I thought I tried to cover all concepts in under a minute. So the prizes are, first prize is $300, and then I believe there's 2 more prizes of $100. That'll be cool, wouldn't it? And you could enter as a workawayer or as a host. Obviously I'm a host. Workawayer could obviously film where they've been and what they've done, something like that. I'm sure they're more likely to win because they've got more experiences of sort of places, something quite unique they might have done or something like that. But I thought give it a go and see how I do with that. And anyone just tuning in, I'm on my exercise bike, looking at myself, I'm sort of a bit side to side. Yeah, so that was pretty cool, and I'm glad I went and did the review today. But as I said, I'd love to see other people's entries of it. I think it's a brilliant idea. So who knows? And as they say, if you're a host, they would like you to try and use the prize money for a project. So that would be cool. Obviously, that would be well needed. And if you're a volunteer, obviously the money they hope you would use to travel further and go to other countries for your workaway volunteer experience. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that's Workaway. And while we're talking about reviews and things, I've mentioned again, I'm hoping to do a video that's going to be a Q&A. You send me any questions you like via any comment anywhere and ask me a question, and I will put it in a video answering your question. It can be about me, it can be about Cyprus, it can be obscure questions, whatever you like. You can ask more than one question, and then every time I answer a question that you've sent me, I do a little picture up of your channel and give your channel a shout out and say who the question's from. So there's that. Let me have a bit of water because I'm getting a little bit puffed. So that's that. What else have I got to tell you? Weather here. Most people think it's sunny all the time. It is not. We have normal weather. Very rare to have rain that a lot of Europe has, and cold that a lot of Europe has. But we do, this is spring for us, so our weather can fluctuate a little bit from really hot to, we haven't really had rain. I think we had one day of rain when the volunteer was here, but it wasn't all day, it's just like a bit of rain. But today we have the Coptic. Now, if you don't know what Coptic is, I've got a whole video on it. It's like storms, but they follow ancient calendars here. And you get the Coptic several times a year of varying degrees, which is mostly wind, very strong winds. And these calendars predict when the Coptics are. They're roughly the same time every single year. And there's quite a few of them. I've dated them on the videos. And the windstorms can be quite tornado-ish, so that's sort of false, if you like. Some bring rain, some don't. Some go on for several days. Some are just a couple of days. Some of them are final day, and every night you get strong winds whistling through. So right now we have a wind Coptic. It's beautifully sunny out there. The time is 7:65, 5:45 at night. Still got the sun coming through. It's lovely out. But as Mike said, if you go out, I've just seen a chair. It's right across the garden from the patio. Oh dear. Yes, as Mike said, if you go out there, I'm going to have to tie a rope to you, Dawn, because you'll blow away. It's very strong. It's the sort of wind that will blow you over. It doesn't seem windy now. I can see all the trees going, but it's not like harsh now. But all day it's been that wind you hear inside the house. You go, whoa, that kind of wind. Yeah, I did go out this morning when it dulled down a little bit for a while. And hey there, it's Steve and Tina Jewel. Do check them out. Yay, they're my new friends on YouTube. And I don't know if you've seen your comments yet, guys, but I've come on under 2 other channels on your channel to give you some more subscribes, because I know you're trying to get some more. So do go on, guys, and have a look at them. I'm on my exercise bike, so I can't type in any info for you. But do look up Steve and Tina Jewel. You don't need links, guys. If you can't manage links, you can just type that name in the top of your YouTube search and their channels will come up. Yeah, so I went out this morning when there was a little lull in the Coptic storm, because I've not long planted sweet corn, and I've put, I cut down big water containers, as in the water containers that you have water in offices and they turn them upside down, those ones. I cut those down and I used the top part over new plants, and I put a stake in. Well, I planted loads of sweet corn a couple of weeks ago or last week, can't remember now. Planted sweet corn out and I just put them over. Well, yes, you can imagine. They were everywhere. Hey, girl, stop and living. Hi. I haven't been on your channel for a while. This is why it's good, guys, when you pop on and just leave a comment somewhere. Because I'm like, I was always on Gail's channel. I can't see from here because I've got magnifying on. But it looks like you've got a different icon. I think it's a basket. Yes, this is my new thing. I'm trying to be on my exercise bike while I'm doing my lives. I thought that was brilliant. So I do lives the same time, Monday and Wednesday. So I thought that's 2 days a week. I'm trying to do an hour. 2 days a week. I do sound breathless doing it though. 2 days a week, I'm definitely doing an hour each day on the exercise bike. And I've actually said, if anyone else has got one, get out during my life. I know people's times are different to mine because it's evening here now. But if you can, get it out and do it while you're watching me. And if you don't have an exercise bike, just walk on the spot till I'm done. Tree Designs made my new logo. She's from, Tree. I know Tree. She's adorable. She's from Vineyard Chicks. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I love Bunky. I know Vineyard Chicks is a popular channel, but I was first on Bunky's channel. She's got her own little channel, and that's where I was first. And then when I was on Vineyard Chicks, I said, you've got your little sister to thank for me being there. So, yeah, I didn't realise she did that. I'm not actually on the other 2 girls. I know they've got separate channels. I haven't actually looked at those. As I say, Vineyard Chicks and Bunkies. I have to try and remember, girl, to come back on yours. I was always on yours, wasn't I? This is the trouble, guys. Sometimes you forget a channel. I've got hundreds that I follow, literally hundreds, more than hundreds. And you do sometimes forget one. So I will be back, Gail, for sure. What else have I got to tell you? Oh, the wind. With this Coptic wind. I was really glad because yesterday I've grown beans for the very first time. Mostly French beans and runner beans, those sort of green beans. Happens to you too, sure. So I've grown them from seed the first time this year because you can't get those seeds here. It took me ages to find some. Long story short, I eventually found some here in a very obscure, it's sort of a shop where you buy garden tools. not a garden shop, more like maintenance, where you take your tools for maintenance, but they sell some seeds there. So I got them, I planted them. And what I did yesterday was, they've grown so long indoors, they're like all intertwining and doing their thing. So yesterday, in one of my raised beds, I've made my own frame for them. It's with bamboos, that we grow bamboo on our land. I haven't done it the normal way. I've done a video of it, I've filmed it as I went. So you'll see it eventually. And I wanted to plant them out as well, but we've got the start of this Coptic, so I said leave it for 2 days. So I can't edit the film until I've planted them, because I want that to be part of the film. But I've kind of made a Frankenstein monster. You'll see when you see how I've made this. Let's call it art. I had a plan how I wanted to make this beanpole construction. It wasn't the standard way, but it didn't work out for reasons. So I kind of adapted it. You're mostly planting your garden. Cool. That's why I used to like on your videos. You used to love your gardening stuff. I remember you bought that big, I don't know what you'd call it there, like a unit, and you put it on the ground and you planted all in that. I'm sure that was your video. Yes, I'm sure it was your video. You planted. Oh, and I used to like, you did some videos of pictures of you when you were at school and things like that. They were cool as well. Yeah, so I've made this Frankenstein monster construction. It's art. Let's call it art. And I'm pleased to say, in this Coptic storm, everything's gone everywhere in the garden, all around the land. I can see just here, as I said, I'm just sitting in a chair on the patio here, right down the garden. Everything's everywhere, but my bean poles are still standing. This year I planted a baby pole. That's a good idea. That's a great idea. You're like me, you like to find obscure things to plant in. That's really cool. Love that. Let me just have a drink. And those of you who've been following my health situation, that you know, if check back my last 2 lives, I'm back to the doctor, I think on next Thursday. Yes, next Thursday, because the medication, I said on my last live, it's really strong. You're not supposed to be on it long. I'm already reaping the benefits. I'm not as breathless, although that's supposedly nothing to do with it. But that's part of why I want to cycle as well. Because talking at the same time for me as walking or on the bike is still difficult, but I'm not getting the sort of chest pains. So this is my idea to also go back to the doctor and say, this is better, that's not better. But I want to do a live on my bike and not be at all breathless. That would be pretty good. So, yeah. And I've also done some sort of life reset. Since the volunteer went, every time we have someone to stay, whether it be a volunteer or friends or whatever, I kind of reset afterwards. Things are different. I don't know, we're on a kind of, both me and Mike together are on some sort of reset. Gail says I'm doing we can container growing 23 challenge, planting with unique things. Yeah, I was on one of those last year or year before, and I literally had to get all bits of video to find all the weird things I'd grown in. I like those because it gives people ideas. And that's why I like salvaging. I don't always know things I find when I go on my walks, what I can do with them. But that's the challenge I like. What can I do with the things I find? I think you entered mine 2 years ago. Yeah, it probably was that. So if you're doing that, when does it close? Because I'd like to do that again. When do you have to have your video done by? because I'd love to do that very much. I think that's one of the best collaborations because it's something everyone can join in with. So if there's a deadline, let me know what it is on here. And obviously I'll mention it. Oh, there you go. April 3rd to August 31st. I've got nothing to write down. Basically, do it, Dawn. Start doing it and send it to you. Yeah, that's the trouble with doing this. I normally write down things as I go. But I will remember to come on your channel. But yeah, I'll definitely be doing that then. That's a good stretch of time, actually. Because some collaborations are quite quick, aren't they? And then you're like, if you're like me and I post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then a collaboration comes up, you're like, oh, I've planned that week. I really haven't got time to do any more between. So it's a really good time. Nice length of time. People can really get organised. Excellent. Good job there, Gail. What else have I got to tell you? I'm nearly up to date with everything. I've still got people to catch up with. While my volunteer was here, I wasn't watching anyone's channels because obviously my spare time I was spending with her. We went out a couple of places, which you'll see in the video. But we had a couple of cold or rain days and we started doing another circular puzzle. And I like to film those on time-lapse, a bit of time-lapse, a bit of not time-lapse. And we've got one on the table, didn't quite finish. So I want to finish doing that, do that on time-lapse, and then post that on my other channel. That way people have time to find something. They sure do, and really think. I mean, we don't really have like charity shops or anything like that, very few and far between. But that's great. People could just go to those and find something bizarre. What else? Yeah, so I'll go get that puzzle finished. I did go for a walk yesterday, yes. I say I'm glad I went yesterday because I copped it today. And I did a different walk. I've got a playlist of my walks. So if you're interested in my walks, I'm on a separate playlist. And I did this one a bit different. I didn't go on a single track. I literally walked in the wild round bushes, and you'll see on the video, it's hard to explain. You'll be like, what you walk round bushes? It's like scrubland, and you have to find a way through. And while I was doing that, I came across all different spring wild flowers. So I've kind of inserted those and showed those as I go. So that's a different one that'll be coming up. But that will be walk R. Now, you're not up to walk R. I can't remember what letter of the alphabet your walks are up to because I'm lettering them all. So if anyone ever comes here and they say, oh, I like one of your walks, can you take me where that is? I'll just say, what letter of the alphabet is it? And then I obviously know, I've got my own notes as to where I went for what walk. Gail says, I'm going to do more than one video. The baby boy is my first thing. Cool. Going to look in my shed for something weird to plant in. Good idea. Yes. Yes. I think literally, if you're clever, you could plant in almost anything. Almost anything. And talking of planting, I'm looking for somebody who wants to come to Cyprus. You've got free accommodation, but not food. We can't afford to pay for food for someone that can do macrame. And I've got metal deck chairs, like deck chair frames, but metal. And I want them macramed. But you'd have to let me know beforehand how much it would cost. You'd have to bring it's not fabric, is it? But it wouldn't be wool either. Whatever you could use that will make them strong enough. And we'd have to chat. And I'll tell you what size the seat is. There's more than one. There's a set. And you'd have to tell me how much it would cost for the stuff. because obviously we're quite frugal and on a budget, because neither of us work. So if you could tell me, if you want to do that, how much the stuff would cost, and you'd have to then, if I okay it, you'd have to purchase it before you come and bring whatever you need to do it. So if you know of anyone who'd be interested in that, or if it's someone watching that can do that, I can give you free accommodation here while you're doing it. So that's something I'm actually looking for. Oh, we're also looking for someone. Hey, it's Mr. J. Hi there. We're also looking for someone who can make covers for sofas and armchairs. We've actually got the material, but I'm thinking we might need something stronger. So I've got a sewing machine, so that you'll just have to need to bring your skill with you. So if someone can make, I really like them removable, but it's the whole thing we need covered, not just like cushion or whatever, like the whole, if you know how to do it. And they've got funny arms, like the roundy sort of shape arms. So if you know how to do that and you want that, again, I would offer free accommodation if you want to come here. What else have I got to tell you? So something on my board. Oh, catching up. I'd said about that before. I've started now, the volunteer's gone. I've started catching up with all your channels. Congrats if I've already been on your channel. It's going to take me a long time. Some channels I'm just jumping in, watching one thing, going through all my list of channels I need to keep up with. And then obviously I'll go back and watch more. Some of you I haven't got to yet. I haven't forgotten you. Obviously, it depends. Some people have much longer videos, so it's taken me longer to be on someone's channel if they've got long videos. Yeah, so that's that. Okay. I've just started back reading my book that I was reading. I was struggling a little bit with it, I told you at the beginning, because it wasn't clear. They're jumping around. And I assumed it was the same person that was a boy and then was an adult, and it is. So I've kind of got that sorted now. Looks like it could be a really good book. This guy's been accused of something he hasn't done. Try to be, oh, bless you. Yeah, this guy's been accused of something he hasn't done, but there's going to be some big twist to it. His wife doesn't believe that he didn't do it. So he sort of lost his wife, lost his home, and I think he's doing a runner now, basically, till he can prove he's innocent. Cool. Thanks, Gail. Spread the word. Spread the word. I'd rather it be a YouTuber, because being in lonesome Cyprus, there's no YouTube channels here. So all you guys who can do meetups and whatever else can't do that. Just before my volunteer came, I did talk about someone had reached out to me via YouTube that was a viewer, and they have moved to Cyprus. So I met up with Joe, and he brought his son William over. There is a community post picture when they came over, and I've yet to meet his wife, but hopefully now the volunteer's gone, we can get that going. So Joe, if you're watching, let's meet up again. That was really good. So yeah, if any of you guys want to come over on holiday, that's cool, because we can't do Airbnb anymore because you have to pay a huge amount of money in order to now re-register as being an Airbnb person with the Airbnb site. It's not just Airbnb, it's booking.com and all of those. And you have to pay over $200, I believe it is, to even be allowed to rent with those companies. And because we were charging such a small amount per night to stay here, it's not affordable to us unless we were doing it as a business, like literally back-to-back bookings. We were just offering it as a cheap place to come for holiday and experience Cyprus. So that's out now. So to get around that, what we've said, to do our Airbnb, what we're doing now is saying you can come and stay either as a volunteer, like I've been talking about, or if you don't want to volunteer, you just want to come and have a holiday, that you can come here and donate per night to our projects. So it's basically you'll pay what we were charging, but it pays directly. I would probably say pay it into our PayPal because I don't want to handle money once you're here. So basically you'd donate into PayPal for the amount of nights you want, and that will be towards our projects. So also that way, people might have disabilities and want to come here as a volunteer, but I won't be able to give them enough jobs to do, depending on what their disability was. So in that way, they can still come and experience here, and just pay towards projects per night. So that's the only way we can do that, I think. Okay, let me have a sip of water and then we'll play a game. Oh, I missed a comment there. What's the weather like there? If you're talking to me, it's normally sunny and hot this time of year, but we've had a Coptic today, which is like a heavy windstorm. I talked a lot about that at the very beginning today. But it fluctuates. It's lovely now, but I can see the trees blowing. Okay, so this is the game that I got given as a gift by Andrea from Digging for Health. She gets a plug every time. Go check her out. So I ask questions. If you want to answer, you can answer. It's me, Laurie. Hi, Laurie from Canada. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming along. Yeah, so these are questions. If you want to answer, join in the fun and put your answer in the comment. If you just want to learn about me, you could just hear my answers. And if you're watching back later, think of your answers too. So the first question is, what is one thing you have never had the courage to accomplish? Ooh, I would say diving off, say, a rock from like up into, say, the sea or something like that, because I don't dive full stop. I don't even jump in off the side of a swimming pool. So I would say that. Yes, I would say it's that for me. It is courage. I just don't, I swim underwater. I don't like to do it, but I can do it. I've proved to myself I can do it. I just don't know when you dive in, let's say somewhere deep like the sea, I don't really know how you come up again. If it's a swimming pool, I guess you go to the bottom and push up. It's lack of knowledge, I think, for that. And I have talked many a times about I drowned 3 times in my life. So I swim. I swim. We have a swimming pool. I swim. But yeah, I'd say that's more of a not knowing kind of thing. So for me, that is one thing I haven't the courage to accomplish, because I would say swimming is a fear. Like that's something that you need courage for if you can't swim. I know there's a lot of people out there that can't swim. So yeah, that is my answer. If you want to add your answers, you're very welcome. I will go on to the second question because I know you're behind me in the chat. I have to remember that when I'm on a live. I'm actually a little bit ahead of you guys. What is a sure sign that someone is weird? That was a good question. What is a sure sign that someone is weird? Ooh, how would you say? Sure sign someone's weird. Well, to be honest, people say I'm weird. It's anyone who's different to the sheep aspect of the norm of life. If someone's different, they're often told they're weird. Or if you want something that someone else doesn't want, you're weird. So weird is just a concept. Even the way some people dress, people say, oh, that's weird. It's not, it's different. Weird and different are two different words. Weird. Maybe you have a love of something like a job or something other people can't comprehend. That's why they're weird. I'm sure someone's weird. Gail says, I'm weird because I go my own way. I'm okay with that. Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. People that are a bit different or obscure or do their own thing. Anyone that's not a sheep and follows the norm of life. I mean, as a child, you're always taught, you grow up, you get a job, you get a house, you get married, you have children, you drive, you retire, and then you sit and do nothing. That's not the way it works at all. Not anymore, for sure. Okay, what would you not want to pour syrup on? My face, my shoes, anything you couldn't eat, because that would be a waste of the syrup. Point on rubbish. Anything wasteful. Spaghetti. Spaghetti's a good answer. What's your favourite card game? I don't know that many card games. I have got a book which I must bring out and show you, and it's card games for one person, because a lot of card games, or most card games, apart from, I don't know what you guys call it, but Patience, Skip Bow, I don't know that. Not heard of that. Yeah, you've got Patience, and you've got that where you can build the cards. But yeah, I've got a book. It's thin, but there's plenty in there. Games for one person, card games. I have to get that out. Maybe I could go through one of those on one of my lives when I'm not on the bike. Maybe I could do that. So, what was the question? What's your favourite card game? What's it we used to play at school? It's called something like Slam. Apples to Apples. Now, I've heard of that. That's an American game. I've seen like people talk about that on American vlogs. I don't know how you play it though. Oh, I know what I like. I've showed this before. I've got it on an app on my tablet, and it's Wild Jack or something like that it's called. And it's like a big board, and it's got, I think, 2 of each type of card just laid out. I think it can be random. I don't think it really matters. And then you've got, I don't know, 5, 6 cards. I don't know how many. You can play it against a computer on an app. I think it's called Wild Jack. And you've got 5, 6 cards. And when it's your go, you can put a counter on one of the cards you got, and then that card goes, and you get another card. And you've got to make a row of 5, I believe. Slapjack. I need to be educated on different countries' games. Slapjack. Cool. They sound really good. Maybe, you should do a collaboration on simple card games, and then everyone could show how to play different card games. That would be good. Hey, Desert Adventures in Arizona. How you doing, my friend? Nice to see you here. We've got some different people on today. This is really cool. That's what I love most about the lives, seeing who pops up, because I know my times are a bit random for a lot of you. Random. It's now I'm on my exercise bike. 6:13. No. What? Yes, 6:13. 6:13 in the evening. Oh, that means I'm nearly finished. 15 minutes and I'm done. 6:13. We're talking about card games. What's your favourite card game? When I was a child, I did Happy Families. See, I don't know now if you guys know the games I'm saying because I don't know your games. Happy Families, Snap. So you're peddling, Dawn, do you for me, would you? You need to get a bike and do it with me. Who was it? BC Treasure Trail. The first day I did it on my exercise bike, he thought I was treading grapes. Treading grapes. Oh dear. Yes, I'm trying to do an hour, so I've got 15 minutes and then I'm stopping. Let's do some more questions. What personality trait do you need to work the most on? Ooh. What personality trait do you need to work the most on? Personality trait. Not quite patience. That's not quite right. Not quite chill out either. If I think of a word. Kind of, it's not chill out because I can chill out. Like if something's happened, to let it go a bit more. Sort of to let things go. Not really. No, not to let things go. Not let other things bother me. That's more it. You're not patient either. Yeah, not let other things bother me. I'm better at that now. Like if you read the news and something irritates you a little bit, like that, I kind of go, I'm better at that. I would say that. If you were proposed to on a first date, what would make you say yes? Nothing. Nothing will make me say yes. Proposed to on first date? No. I know that does happen and people are together for a long time. But maybe I'd say yes if they were prepared to wait sort of time, not get married straight away. So maybe I'll say, well, let's see how it goes. So, yeah, I'd say that. See what else. What is one thing on which you refuse to compromise? Nothing. Yeah, I agree with you, Gail. What is one thing you refuse to compromise? If you're right, and I'm talking about important things, your religion, that's a good answer. I would say if you're right on something really important, I wouldn't let people sway me to go, oh, okay then. I'll be in and out of the chat. I have to take dog out. I'll probably be gone, but great to see you because I'm only doing an hour. But great to see you. Integrity. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a really good answer. Politics. I won't get into conversation on politics. I think politics for me is, I won't say there's any political party that I'm for. There's a bit of that, bit of that, bit of that. Different in America, probably. I don't know. So with that, I wouldn't ever talk about politics and whatever else. Morals, that's a good one. Okay. If you were master chef, oh, this is one for Blue, what would be your most used ingredient? If you were master chef, what would be your most used ingredient? Now, master chef. Still here, I'm fucking listening. Cool. What would be your most used ingredient? I'd like to say sauces. So only because with sauces, I make loads of sauces. You can just use them in so many ways and just change an ingredient, but that's not an ingredient, Dawn. I do like garlic. It's a hard one, it sure is. I'll say maybe something like garlic. It's got to be a spice or a flavouring. Master chef. It's got to be something you can do a lot of different things with. It is a hard one, Gail. It is hard. Master chef. Mushrooms. You could again do lots of things with that. Okay. What's your secret to getting over a cold? Not having one in the first place, so staying warm and healthy as best as you can. But secret for getting over a cold. We have here, I guess a lot of countries would call it something like fire water, like a spirit or that kind of thing. And it's called Zivanir. Oh, prayer. Oh, bless you. Bless you. Oh, yes, we have like it's a clear liquid. You have like a shot of, and it's Zivanir. And that really does help you. Even the doctors recommend it. If you've got a throat problem, sore throat or a cold, or even helps with digestion problems. Zivanir, it sort of burns as it goes down. Take little sips, so like not back the shot, little tiny sips. It's warm, like you would taste a brandy, you know, that can be hot. And if you feel you've got a cold coming, they say take little shots of that, little tiny bits. And it's also used as paint stripper. Yes, paint stripper. So, yes, I would say Zivanir. That would be my answer. But you need to take it sort of sooner rather than later. A couple more. What do you hate paying for? What do you hate paying for? In the past, I would say female products. I don't think that's very fair. So that definitely. What else do you not like paying for? I didn't like in England that if you was a worker, as I was then, you get tax to pay things like road tax, schools. Even if you don't have children, even if you don't drive, you were paying tax for that. And also some of your work money went into the government payments, and that paid for people who chose not to work. I'm not talking about people who couldn't work for real reasons, but for those who wanted to sit at home and not go to work, that paid their money to buy their cigarettes and so forth. They had like mobile phones and subscriptions to Netflix and things like that, and I couldn't afford it working full time. So that. School, Gail says. School in Cyprus, school and education is free. University is free if you're obviously a resident of Cyprus. If you came here, then you'd have to pay for it. Yeah, all free here, which is good. And I was talking about the doctors on the last live, and we have a service now called Gessi, and it's like the old English National Health. You don't pay to see a doctor. Yeah, like college, I get you. That should be free because you're trying to better yourself. You don't pay for an appointment with a doctor. You don't even make an appointment here. You just turn up and you see your doctor. You have to be registered with them. You just turn up, you see a doctor, and you don't have a set time. In England, there was like a set time, like say 5 minutes per patient, let's say. Here you can go in because there's no appointments. If you need half an hour with the doctor, you get half an hour with the doctor. And then you get your prescription. I talked about this in the last slide, so I won't go into it in great detail. But you get a prescription, and here, for example, if the medication was say €6, you pay €2. So it's all very good. Same with operations and things like that. I guess this is annoying to particularly my American people, because I know you have to have all your insurance and it sounds very expensive there, and only certain things are covered there, but here not. So that's very good news here. What's the time? 5 minutes left. Let's see if we can get another card done. What is the number one reason you deserve a vacation? Because I haven't had one for 17 years. I don't even have a passport now. Card game called Spoons. Look it up. So fun. Sounds interesting. Sounds interesting. I have to look that up, Gail. If I forget any of these names, I'm going to be on your channel asking you, because I normally write down during my lives things. Spoons, I should remember that. Yes, I haven't got a passport anymore for medical reasons, and also couldn't afford to renew them. Too much time home by myself. Come to Cyprus, Gail. Come visit. I'm waiting for my first actual YouTuber to come and visit. Can you imagine? That'd be so much fun. People have said, oh yes, in a year's time, or maybe a couple of years, and saving up and whatever else. Anyone who's in Europe can now get the ferry across. There's a ferry from Greece to Cyprus now. They used to have one years ago and it stopped, but they brought that back. So if you're in Europe, you can actually get the ferry. I guess from America, it's going to take you a long time to get here. I'm assuming they do flights straight from there. I'm not sure. But yeah, do come visit, Gail. Do come visit. Free accommodation. I'd love to visit. How much would it cost to fly there? I wonder. Look it up and tell me. I'd be interested. I'm not even sure how much time it would take you either. Yeah, look it up. Get back to me. I'd love to know. What do you think might have... what do you think you might have been in a past life? Who or what? I've talked about this before, actually. An insect. I have said before, either a moth, because I like pretty coloured lights, fibre optics and Christmas lights, and so a moth. I'm attracted to coloured lights. And I've also said maybe a centipede or millipede, because they got lots of legs and I like shoes. So they got lots of legs. A dolphin. Oh, that's sweet. Why a dolphin? Why a dolphin, Gail? Are you a good swimmer? Oh, actually, I think I've heard this from you before. Oh, you're back. Cool. I've got 3 minutes. You went fast with the doggy. You went fast with doggy. We're talking about who or what you might have been in your past. Gail's a dolphin. Yeah, so that was funny about, always said centipede or millipede, because it's got loads of legs, so I like shoes. And I liked that I was a professional dancer, because you always need new dance shoes. So when you get too many shoes in your closet, you could buy dance shoes. 2 more and then I'm gone. What one thing do you wish was bigger? My bank account. My bank account. Finally got to see one swim. It was so cool. I've swum with dolphins. I did that in the Bahamas. That was cool too. Remember I said at the beginning of this, I'm not the best confident of swimmer. And the dolphins know. They're really careful with you and really sweet. I think I've shared pictures of that on my other channel when I've done my long haul holiday videos on there. If you look up Bahamas, I think that's a 2-parter, and you'll see there me swimming with the dolphins. I guess my checking account, yeah, my bank account. Okay, last question and then I'm gone. What noise makes you cringe? What noise makes you cringe? I don't like when people get their forks and put a knife in it. Now, you can't hear that, but I don't know. There's something about that sets me going. Everything else is big enough. Fingernails on the blackboard, yeah. That kind of noise. I can't stand with my brain injury since that. If a child suddenly does a really high-pitched scream, you know, kids suddenly go and shriek, because my brain damage that does something to my head. So that I'm going to say a child to smack him while they eat. Oh, smack him while they eat. Anything else? Just sudden loud noises really gets my head, really. Or sometimes you see a YouTube video and they're talking, then suddenly the music comes up really loud. Oh yes, hate that. Oh dear. Well, that's my hour done. Go me. I'm trying to do it every live. It's just hard to show you stuff. So if I've got tons to show you, then not so much on my bike. But I'm really pleased that you came today, guys. Need to check in on your channels. I've actually been on Desert Adventure Arizona recently. Can't remember what I saw because I've been watching so many trying to catch up. I had a good time hanging out with you. Gail, it's brought me back to your channel. And guys, still go and check Gail's channel for her weird container challenge. It's going to be great. It really is. Good to see you. Have a great rest of your day. And you too. Give a hug to Doggy for me. I love seeing all your animals, all the channels that I'm on. My favourite animal is still Norman. Still Norman on Lisa's channel. So, yeah, beat that, guys. Okay, thanks for being here. I've got to find the mouse. Oh, got bottom ache now. That's why I can only do it now. So until next time, as always, guys, Meraki, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Bye.